In the silence before dawn, when the world still sleeps, the warrior awakens. He stands between shadow and flame, where doubt whispers and the forge of destiny burns. In that stillness, he remembers the ancient creed, Ganbaru, to endure beyond all limits, to fight on, not because victory is certain, but because quitting is not in the spirit of the samurai. It is here, in the fire of struggle, that one's true steel is revealed, for a blade is not born sharp. It is beaten, folded, and burned until it can cut through fear itself. There is a saying in the old ways, Hagane no Ishi, the will of steel. It is not talent nor fortune that carves greatness into a man's soul. It is persistence under pressure, resilience in ruin, and the quiet refusal to yield. Life will test your edges. It will strike you again and again, seeking the moment you break. But that is the moment the samurai within you must awaken. The moment you want to quit, remember Ganbaru, for even a single step forward in the storm is proof that your spirit still breathes fire. To you, the modern warriors watching this, I bow. You who carry burdens unseen, who rise even when no one applauds. This is your forge. This community is your dojo, where discipline, fire, and spirit unite. So comment Ganbaru below, subscribe, and join this brotherhood of blades, those who refuse to shatter, no matter how fierce the hammer falls. Together we will walk the path of endurance and shape unbreakable spirits from the flames of our struggle. The forge within every warrior is not made of iron or flame, but of will and endurance. Life, in its quiet cruelty, does not test us with comfort. It tempers us with hardship. Each trial, each failure, each heartbreak becomes a hammer strike against the raw metal of our being. When the world presses upon you with unbearable weight, remember this: the fire is not your enemy, it is your teacher. It reveals what within you is strong enough to survive the burning. In the ancient art of the swordsmith, the blade is folded and struck countless times, each impact aligning its core, strengthening what was once fragile. So too must the human spirit be folded through struggle, refined through resistance, until all that remains is purity of purpose. The forge is pain, yes, but it is also transformation, and only through enduring it does your true shape emerge. When life's trials blaze around you, the instinct is to retreat, to shield yourself from the heat. But the samurai understood a sacred truth. Retreat from the flame and you remain untempered. Endure it and you become unbreakable. The fire is not punishment, it is invitation. A chance to rise beyond the softness of comfort and the illusion of ease. There is no path of mastery without suffering, no excellence without endurance. Think of the cherry blossom that blooms in winter. Its beauty is born not despite the cold, but because of it. Likewise, your strength is not forged in peace, but in persistence. When you stand in the fire, trembling but unyielding, you honor the spirit of Ganbaru, the relentless resolve to continue no matter how fierce the trial or how long the night. Enduring the fire is not about pretending it does not hurt. The flames of hardship sear deeply, and the pain they bring is real. But to the disciplined soul, pain is not a signal to stop, it is a signal to grow. Every challenge is a lesson in disguise, every obstacle a mirror showing you where your limits lie and where they can be broken. The warrior learns to breathe through the heat, to see beyond the chaos, and to trust that the forge will give back tenfold what it takes. The Japanese concept of shin, or heart-mind, reminds us that the spirit must remain still, even as the body burns. The one who masters endurance does not fight the fire, he accepts it as part of his becoming. Through this acceptance, pain transforms into purpose, and fear dissolves into focus. Inside every human soul burns a forge waiting to be awakened. It is not the external world that creates the warrior. It is the decision to face the fire within, the hammer of adversity, the flame of doubt, the weight of failure. All these forces strike to shape you, not to destroy you. The samurai knew that the sword and the soul are reflections of each other. Both must be purified through struggle before they can cut through illusion. The forge within you demands patience, courage, and the humility to be remade. Each scar becomes a mark of honor, each test a step closer to mastery. So when the world seems to conspire against your spirit, remember that you are standing in your own sacred forge, and though the fire burns, it also blesses. For only through enduring the fire of trials can your true steel, your unbreakable self, be revealed. Hagane Ishi, the will of steel, is more than mere stubbornness. It is the unwavering spirit that refuses to shatter under the weight of adversity. The samurai believed that a warrior's worth was not proven in moments of comfort, but in moments when his resolve was tested by the impossible. Steel is not born strong, it is made so by countless strikes, by fire, by folding, by the relentless dance between breaking and becoming. So too is the will of man. Each hardship you face, each setback that drives you to the edge, is a strike of that hammer shaping your inner blade. Those who endure the process without surrendering to despair rise from the fire transformed. The will of steel is not cold, it burns quietly, glowing with conviction that cannot be extinguished by failure or fear. It is the samurai's unseen armor, the invisible force that carries him forward even when his body trembles. In the philosophy of Bushido, the path of the warrior is not about the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. The one who possesses Hagane no Ishi stands calm amid chaos because he has accepted that the world will not yield easily. To live with such a will is to understand that resistance is inevitable and that every struggle, no matter how severe, is an invitation to refine your soul. You will be bent, you will be scorched, but you will not break. Like tempered steel, your strength will grow with every challenge endured. The fire may roar around you, yet inside you there is a quiet certainty, a belief that you were made for this test. That belief is your sword. That certainty is your shield. True steel is not merely hard, it is resilient. If it were only rigid, it would snap. If it were only soft, it would fail to cut. The art of the swordsmith lies in balance, and so too does the art of life. The will of steel is born from that balance, the ability to bend without breaking, to adapt without surrendering your core. This is the spirit of Ganbaru. Not blind endurance, but wise persistence. When pain comes, you do not deny it. You absorb it, learn from it, let it mold your edge sharper. Every time you refuse to quit, you fold your soul once more, layering it with experience, patience, and courage. These invisible layers become your inner armor, your true weapon against despair. There will come a moment, as it comes for every warrior, when you feel the weight of your own limits pressing against you like iron chains. You will question your strength, your path, your purpose. In that moment, remember Hagane no Ishi. Remember that steel does not ask to be spared from the forge. It asks to be tested again and again until it becomes unbreakable. You are that steel. Every hardship you survive adds to your temper. Every loss deepens your strength. When others retreat, you advance, not because the way is easy, but because your will has been trained to endure what others fear. This is the mark of true warriors, not their victories, but their refusal to surrender their spirit to the fire. Mujo. The impermanence of all things is one of the deepest truths of the samurai's path. Everything you love, everything you fear, every victory and every wound, none of it lasts forever. The cherry blossoms that bloom so brilliantly in spring fall before the next dawn, yet their fleeting beauty is what makes them sacred. The warrior understands this and accepts it. He does not resist the passage of time, he flows with it. Mujo teaches that pain, like joy, is transient. The storms that rage within you will one day pass, and the fire that seems unbearable will one day fade into warmth. This truth does not weaken you, it frees you. When you realize that nothing endures eternally, you learn to face loss with grace, to endure hardship with patience, and to act with full presence in every fleeting moment. The impermanence of life becomes not a curse, but a call to live deeply, to give your all while the flame still burns. The samurai's calm in the face of death was not born from ignorance or arrogance. It was born from the acceptance of Mujo. To accept impermanence is to remove the fear of endings. When you no longer cling to what must pass, you are free to fight without hesitation and to give without restraint. Life's fragility sharpens one's purpose, just as the sword's edge is honed by precise pressure. The warrior does not weep for what he cannot keep. He honors it by living with full spirit while it exists. This is how Mujo transforms suffering into strength. Each passing moment, each defeat, each goodbye, these are not signals of failure, but the reminders that life is motion, and motion itself is proof of life. Nothing stays still, and so you must move forward too, even through the flames of struggle. When you embrace Mujo, you learn that endurance is not about resisting change, but walking alongside it. Like water flowing over stone, you adapt, adjust, and evolve without losing your essence. The modern world teaches us to hold tightly to control, to cling to comfort, to fear loss. But the warrior knows that control is an illusion. The river of life cannot be stopped. It can only be navigated. The strength to keep going, even as everything shifts around you, is the true power of the Ganbaru spirit. To persevere, knowing that nothing is permanent, is to find peace in the chaos. It is the calm of the samurai standing in the storm, aware that both storm and stillness are temporary. In every ending lies a beginning. In every fall, the chance to rise again. Mujo teaches you to see the beauty in impermanence and to trust the rhythm of life's cycles. There will be moments when you lose everything you thought defined you, your plans, your strength, your certainty. Yet, even then, life continues to move, and within that motion lies rebirth. The warrior who understands Mujo does not despair at loss. He bows to it, learns from it, and moves forward with renewed clarity. Just as the seasons turn, so too does the human spirit regenerate after each trial. The cherry blossom falls, yet the tree endures. You too must endure, accepting that though every flame will fade, its light leaves behind the wisdom of survival. This is the quiet power of impermanence, the reminder that to live fully one must not cling, but continue. The edge of persistence is where the warrior's true mastery is revealed. A dull blade cannot cut through challenge, just as a wavering heart cannot cut through hardship. To sharpen steel, it must be ground again and again against resistance. And so it is with the spirit. Every obstacle you face, every setback that dares you to stop, is the whetstone of your soul. The process is not gentle. It scrapes away comfort, pride, and illusion, leaving only truth. Persistence is not about brute force. It is about precision, the daily act of aligning your will, your discipline, and your purpose until they move as one. The samurai does not swing wildly in battle. His every strike is focused, refined, and deliberate. In the same way, your journey demands persistence with direction, endurance with clarity. The blade of your spirit must be honed not only by effort, but by awareness of why you fight. When fatigue whispers to quit, when failure mocks your progress, persistence becomes the quiet rebellion against defeat. The warrior knows that victory rarely comes to the strongest, but to the one who refuses to yield. Each time you continue despite exhaustion, you sharpen the unseen edge of your character. There will be days when your spirit feels dull, when the path seems endless, but that is when sharpening matters most. It is said in the way of the sword, a blade untested cannot be trusted. Likewise, a soul untested cannot truly know its strength. The friction you face is not there to destroy you, but to prepare you. With each repetition, with each fall and rise, your persistence grows keener, more defined, and more unbreakable. Persistence is not noise, it is rhythm. Like the steady beat of a hammer shaping steel, the rhythm of consistent effort creates transformation. The samurai did not train only when inspired. He trained every dawn, whether the body was willing or not. That discipline is the essence of Ganbaru, to continue without promise of reward, to persist because the act itself refines you. True persistence is not measured in days of triumph, but in the quiet hours of struggle, when no one is watching. Hare, Bekui. Each swing of effort leaves a mark on your inner blade, and slowly, without fanfare, you become sharp enough to cut through doubt, fear, and despair. The edge of persistence is earned in solitude, in the countless unseen battles where your will is your only ally. And yet, the sharpest edge is also the most fragile if neglected. The warrior knows this. What is not maintained will rust. Persistence must be renewed each day through intention. You must care for your inner edge, not by seeking ease, but by remembering your purpose. Why did you begin this path? What do you fight for? These questions restore the shine to your resolve. Every trial endured adds luster. Every lesson learned polishes your focus. Over time, you no longer fear the grind. You embrace it, for you understand that persistence is both the fire and the forge. When you continue through doubt, through fatigue, through pain, you prove to yourself that your edge remains sharp. And when the moment comes to strike, to act, to overcome, to rise, your persistence will cut through every obstacle like a blade perfected by the fire of time. The silent battle is the one fought when no one is watching, when applause fades, when the world is asleep, and only the whisper of your own doubts remains. This is where discipline is born, and where true warriors are forged. The samurai did not seek glory in the eyes of others. He sought mastery in the silence of his own mind. It is easy to appear strong when others look on, but the test of spirit comes in solitude, when there are no spectators, no reward, no recognition. Will you still rise? Will you still give your best? The silent battle asks this of you each day. It is not a fight against the world, but against the part of yourself that craves comfort, excuses, and surrender. The way of the warrior begins not with a sword, but with a decision to show up, even when no one will ever know. Discipline, in its truest form, is quiet fire. It burns without seeking attention, consuming laziness, fear, and distraction. The samurai called this state of being Shin no Kokoro, the true heart. It is the alignment of purpose and action, the unity between what must be done and what you are willing to do. In the silent battle there are no shortcuts and no applause. Only repetition, endurance, and faith in the process. When the world demands instant results, discipline reminds you that greatness is built in layers, through patience and persistence. Each small victory in silence, every early morning, every late-night effort, every moment you choose progress over comfort, becomes a brick in the fortress of your will. And though the world may never see it, you will know, you will feel it, you will become it. The silent battle is also the fight to remain centered when chaos surrounds you. The samurai's calm was not gifted, it was earned through countless moments of control under pressure. To master the mind under noise, one must first master it under stillness. In silence, all the fears you avoid will rise to the surface. Doubt, regret, insecurity. But rather than fleeing from them, the warrior faces them with stillness, breath, and unwavering presence. This is the art of internal warfare, to defeat the enemy within before confronting the enemy without. The true samurai draws his sword not to prove his strength, but to reflect the strength already conquered inside. So too must you face your silence, not as emptiness, but as a mirror that shows you who you are when all distractions are gone. In that quiet space, where your thoughts clash and your spirit trembles, you will learn that discipline is not the absence of struggle, but the mastery of it. Every morning you rise early when you could sleep. every time you choose focus over distraction, every moment you act with integrity when no one will know. These are victories in the silent battle. Over time they build an unshakable confidence, not based on praise, but on proof. The proof that you have faced yourself and endured. The warrior who wins in silence does not need validation, for his strength speaks through his actions. Remember this: the loudest victories are often born in the quietest fights. In silence, the samurai sharpened his blade, and in your silence, you sharpen your soul. Ganbaru, the spirit of never giving up, is not a moment of defiance, but a lifelong vow. It is the fire that burns when all other lights fade, the heartbeat that continues even when the world seems to turn against you. To Ganbaru is to refuse surrender, not out of pride, but out of purpose. It is the warrior's silent promise to himself: I will not fall to weakness. I will rise until I cannot rise anymore, and then I will crawl forward still. This spirit transcends victory or defeat. It is endurance in its purest form. The samurai believed that a battle is only truly lost when the will to fight disappears. So long as you stand, or even strive to stand, the flame of your spirit endures. Ganbaru is the art of holding on one breath longer, one heartbeat deeper, one step further than your limits allow, and in doing so, discovering that your limits were illusions all along. The essence of Ganbaru lies not in the absence of pain, but in the acceptance of it. Pain, exhaustion, and doubt are not signs of weakness. They are the proof that you are still fighting. When the body breaks, the spirit must carry it. The Japanese say, "Nana korobi ya oki." Fall 7 times, rise 8. That is Ganbaru. It is not about perfection, but persistence. It is the invisible thread that pulls you forward when your strength has run dry. The warrior who lives by this creed does not ask, "How long must I endure?" but declares, "As long as it takes." For every moment you choose to continue, despite fear, fatigue, or failure, you forge a deeper bond with your purpose. You stop being merely human. You become endurance itself. There are times when life will crush you to your knees, when even breathing feels like a battle. In those moments, the Ganbaru spirit whispers quietly, "Stand again." No one will see the full weight you carry, no one will understand the depth of your pain, but you rise anyway. That is strength. The samurai walked this same path, scarred yet unbroken, guided not by hope of ease, but by the duty to endure. Every tear, every scar, every wound becomes part of the armor of the soul. When you embrace Ganbaru, you cease asking for an easier path, and instead ask for the strength to walk the one before you. You become like tempered steel, flexible in the face of pressure, unyielding in the heart of flame. Ganbaru is not simply a word, it is a way of living, a declaration of faith in your own unbreakable spirit. To live with Ganbaru is to meet the storm head-on, knowing it will pass but refusing to wait for calm. It is rising for the 1000th time when the world expects you to stay down. This is the code of the modern samurai. To fight for your purpose even when unseen, to continue moving forward even when hope flickers. Every great victory, every transformation begins with this decision: I will not quit. So when your strength fades and your path darkens, remember the spirit of Ganbaru. The moment you want to give up is the moment your true power is waiting to be born, the moment your warrior's heart finally awakens. In the end, the path of Ganbaru is not about perfection, triumph, or applause. It is about the fire that refuses to die within you. Every forge you've faced, every scar you've earned, every tear that fell in silence has shaped you into something unbreakable. The samurai knew that life was not meant to be easy. It was meant to be endured, refined, and lived with purpose. The world will test your edges. The flames will rise again and again. But the warrior who carries discipline, will, awareness, persistence, and faith within his soul cannot be conquered. You are that warrior. The same steel that once trembled in the fire now shines with the light of mastery. When the storm returns, and it always does, remember, you have already walked through fire and survived. You have already proven that pain cannot silence your will. The Ganbaru spirit is not something you find. It is something you awaken again and again, with every choice not to quit. Let your scars be your story, your endurance your legacy. You are not here to escape hardship, you are here to transform it. To rise once more, warrior. The forge awaits. But this time, you step into it, not as the one being shaped, but as the fire itself.